All right, we are live. What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman here to talk about the Thursday night game, break it down real quick, have a quick conversation, and give you my thoughts. I'm trying to go live after as many primetime games as I can this season. This one isn't the best games to really get on and talk about because, wasn't too exciting. These Thursday night games never really are. I mean, we know that. But it's always, it's always good to get on and, get some thoughts out, post game immediately. And I do have a few, despite the fact that it wasn't the most exciting one. So if you're in the comments, drop below, stick around, leave your thoughts, leave your opinions, and we're gonna start off by talking about the result 30-12. Of course, the 49ers kept this one close for a little bit longer than we expected. I thought this was going to be a runaway train pretty early on, but the Giants, for the most part, it was tied at 3 after the first quarter, right? We get into the second quarter. The 49ers do pull away a bit, but 17-6 is still manageable. And the second half is really where it kind of got out of hand. The Giants outscored the 49ers 6-3 in the third quarter, but then in the fourth, the Giants just kind of ran out of juice. The difference in talent, the difference in rosters, the difference in health was really the biggest thing. The Giants were without B.J. Ojulari on the defensive side of the ball. They also had guys dropping left to right. I think they said Deonte Banks left the game early. I think did Darnay Holmes get hurt too? And then, of course, Saquon was out. Andrew Thomas was out. Evan Neal looked like he was limping around. This Giants team really took an ass whooping tonight. But, even though they didn't cover the spread, I think they fought a lot better than I personally expected them to. I thought it was going to look like, something similar to the first half of that Cardinals game. So credit to them for, fighting for as much as they could have in this one. But on that note of the Giants, I wanted to talk about Darren Waller's performance because this was probably the biggest takeaway I had from this game was Darren Waller's performance and just how non-impactful he was. One of my big, I don't want to call it knocks, but one of my big, just what's a good word for it? One of my biggest opinions this offseason was that the Giants didn't go and get that pass catcher that really is going to get, really going to help out Daniel Jones. Obviously, he's not the youngest of guys, but we've seen the blueprint year after year of getting your young quarterback your top receiver. And it didn't seem like I didn't think the Giants really did that. I didn't think, understandably, Darren Waller was a low risk, high reward type of move. But I didn't think that they actually got anybody that was going to make that big of a difference. And in tonight's game, he was supposed to be that guy, and he wasn't. He had plenty of opportunities to be, and Darren Waller just kind of shied away from the moment. And he's not a guy I really like to rag on a lot because he's a really good person. He's gone through hell and back, and he's a lot stronger than I'll ever be in this lifetime. But football, of course, when it comes to football, his performance tonight was lackluster for a number of reasons. Let's check out a couple of the opportunities he had at hand here. Because he did have a few. This one specifically was the one that the announcers were clamoring all about. I didn't think this was too horrendous on Darren Waller's part. This ball was extremely high, but it doesn't seem like Waller even jumps either. Darren Waller is 6'6", right? And this ball is going to come high. Daniel Jones is under pressure in this scenario, so you're not going to be getting a perfect pass. But, all you got to do is come down with the ball, and he just doesn't focus on that aspect. It seems like Darren Waller's concentrating on trying to continue upfield after he gets the ball instead of just coming down with it. Darren Waller in this situation needs to understand that he is about 2 to 3 yards away from the first down marker and pretty much at it by the time the ball hits his fingertips. So he doesn't need to worry about continuing upfield. This was a third down. In this situation, what Darren Waller needed to do was jump. And I don't think for a guy that's 6'6", I mean, it's kind of hard to tell there. I don't think Darren Waller got up too high here. I mean, it just, I know it's hard. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but, the ball wasn't great either. You just kind of expect a guy like Darren Waller to come down with the ball like that. He's the guy that you paid this offseason to be this pass catcher, to be the guy that you went to in these big pressure situations. Not too sure why Dove decided to tweet this tweet with this. That's a little bit odd. But anyway, let's see if I can find one of the other plays from Darren tonight, because I don't want to have to go through the actual film, because then I get freaking flagged by YouTube. Excuse me. But long story short, I mean, Darren Waller had what? Darren Waller finished the night 3 for 20. He had 6 targets, 3 for 20 on 6 targets. He probably had, at least two other balls that I thought he could have come down with. He could have made a better opportunity on. Here's the play in entirety. See how much pressure Daniel Jones feels here. Actually, not that much. He probably has to get the ball over some outstretched hands, but otherwise, I'm really not too impressed with this ball. This ball probably needs to be better. But like I said, I mean, there's just not much jump from Waller here, and I'm confused as to why. There was another ball deep down the field that they went to in one-on-one coverage to Waller, and for some reason, it just didn't look like he tracked the ball correctly. I thought it was a pretty good ball, considering where it needed to be. But for some reason, Waller just here's the interception that I wanted to share. Excuse me. I've been coughing like a dog. Can't stop. Here's another one. This is probably the best example we had in tonight's game of Waller just not coming up big when he needed to. Here we have Daniel Jones, clean pocket, 3rd and 17, just trying to get something here at the end of the game. This hits Waller in the chest. A hand to Mike it in here. But, a guy like Darren Waller, he's big. He's your big tight end. He's physical. When he's got the inside, he's the one between the ball. It's not like the defender is between the ball and he's got to make a play on it. It goes ball, him, defender. So, he needs to come down with that. He needs to stretch his arms out. He needs to box out better. He needs to essentially make this play is the long and short of it. Just not impressive from Waller at all. You need your tight end that you went out to be this guy in these moments to make this play.
Batted up. Volley.
Very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing performance from Darren Waller tonight. There was another pass that I wanted to look at too that I don't think I'm gonna find. It was it looked like it was a back shoulder ball, I think. Let's see if I can find it. This guy posts like all sorts of clips. Matt Breida, Slayton, no. Debo, Ray McLeod, Daniel Jones, Darren Waller. It's the miss. 3 and out. What's this here? The overthrow. Okay, it's the overthrow. Face mask. McCaffrey, Purdy. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Incomplete to Darren Waller. What's this here? This is the ball I was looking for. This was the pass. Okay. Here's what I wanted. Here we have Darren Waller one-on-one against a defensive back I don't even remember the name of. But they are going to manufacture a free release here with a stack. Darren Waller is going to run a small out and up, nothing crazy. And Daniel Jones is going to give him a chance. This ball is outside. Daniel gives Waller space to the sideline to adjust to this ball. And it just doesn't seem like he was the athleticism that we all know Darren Waller to have, that we all love him for, just didn't seem like it was there tonight. This ball, I think, it might from the surface look a little bit outside, too outside, but it was purposely placed there so that Waller can separate himself from the defensive back between him and the sideline, so you're able to, maybe even get a slight push off, just somehow extend yourself back shoulder here toward the sideline to be able to come down with this ball. This is exactly what this play is designed for. You get that free release off the stack on the line of scrimmage. You get one-on-one here, and your defender has inside leverage on you, so the ball is put outside so you can turn and fade away coming down with this ball. But it's just such a poor attempt at fading away on Waller's part. And it's not like he didn't know that this is where that ball was going to end up. Like, he did. This is the play. Waller looked unathletic. That's the best way to put it. The guy that I've always known to be extremely, extremely freakish and athletic, his age showed tonight. His age showed tonight big time. So Waller, this might be a one-off performance, but I wouldn't be shocked if this was the closer to the Waller we see this season than, the prime Waller that the Giants were probably hoping they would get when they originally traded for him. But then let's talk about, the guy that was throwing to him real quick. Daniel Jones, I thought, had a pretty solid night considering the circumstances. He was under pressure a lot. The times he wasn't under pressure, though, he was pretty good. I don't remember what the statistic was, but he was like 111 for he was like, what was it, 14 for 17 for 111, something to that effect. When he wasn't under pressure, he was getting the ball out when he could, trying not to take sacks. The sacks he did take pretty much just couldn't do anything about. But this was really the big problem. This group right here was the biggest issues. People on Twitter were complaining about the usage of who you're not even going to see listed here because he didn't have a catch. Jalen Hyatt, not really an impact player. We saw after that 20-0 deficit they went into going to half. They came out and took a shot with Hyatt at the top of the third quarter. And, the broadcast kept talking about how, this would be a great time to get Jalen Hyatt involved, to get Jalen Hyatt deep, extend the field, open the field for Waller underneath, blah, blah, blah. And Hyatt really just didn't seem to have the opportunity. I'm not sure what his snap count looked like. But it just was not, Jalen Hyatt just didn't seem to be a part of the game script, oddly enough, when he's really the only guy that was capable of threatening downfield on this roster, to be quite honest with you. The Giants have a painfully slightly below average room. It's so well rounded for the level of talent that they have. It's like there's no talent drop off. It's like your Wan'Dale Robinsons. I don't even know what happened to Sterling Shepard. He probably got hurt again. Your Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slaytons, Isaiah Hodgins, Darren Wall. This group is so well rounded, just in the worst way possible. It's just it's a below well rounded and below average. There's no alpha. There's no guy that defenses need to pay extra attention to, or at least that demands extra attention. There's no number one target. There's nothing. Just painfully below average. And I'm just confused. My whole point this whole offseason was, what's the point of it, kind of doing this half extension with Daniel Jones, where it's like they're clearly giving him a contract that's not like this huge extension where they're committing to him, but they want to see what else he has. They didn't really help him. They kind of just stuck with what they had originally. And yes, I know a lot of people talk about Darren Waller, but I just did not believe he could be that pass catcher to make that difference that I think this pass catching group needed. And it's just painfully painfully below average for that matter. And poor Daniel Jones is just trying to make do with whatever he's got. And this pick isn't, even his fault. Only took 2 sacks. I mean, he played well considering the circumstances. I'm going to give Daniel Jones a lot of credit here. Somebody that got a lot of flack over the past week as well was Kayvon Thibodeau. Here's a guy that he had no tackles last week, and who scored the last touchdown for the 49ers. I think it was Debo. Debo scored the last one in that deep ball. Purdy was under pressure, threw it up, and Debo came down with it. It was like a 40-yard catch or something like that. Kayvon Thibodeau was a guy that caught some heat over the last week because he didn't have a tackle in his last week performance, which is odd, right? You're an edge rusher, defensive end, and you didn't have a tackle. No problem, Farkas. And he didn't have a tackle. It's concerning. This week he does record 3, one of which being a sack. Just this defensive front is good on the inside. You have Dexter Lawrence, you have Leonard Williams, but they need a premier edge rusher. They draft Kayvon Thibodeau, 4th overall? And we're 3 games into 2023, and he just doesn't seem like he's progressing to become that premier edge rusher. It doesn't seem like there's any flashes that he could become that. It just, like I said, it's kind of been the story of the Giants for me in this live stream so far, just painfully average. And that's what Kayvon Thibodeau seems to be bringing to the table. And that's not what they need because their second level is abysmal. Their linebackers, absolutely terrible. Their second level is still not good. Bobby Okereke, he's all right, but there's not enough help around him. They need more from Kayvon Thibodeau going forward. That's for sure. Excuse me. This is also something I wanted to talk about. Let's pull this up real quick. The final comment I want to make on the Giants. Excuse me. All right, here we go. So this was early in the game. Right before halftime, we have what was a roughing the passer call made on Leonard Williams, and there was conversation about whether or not this is a penalty. So assuming this wants to load, which would be nice. Come on.
First down.
Leonard Williams is one-on-one with Aaron Banks and actually does a really nice job using his hands.
Yeah, I mean, that's a penalty. By stupid rule, Leonard Williams needs to extend his arms out when he's falling down on Purdy. As he's in the motion of falling down on him, he needs to release Purdy and use his hands to brace himself when he hits the ground. Therefore, his stomach and his body weight doesn't crush Purdy when he comes down. And Leonard does not do that. This has been a pretty clear-cut rule. As dumb as it is, what they're trying to prevent is, I mean, I don't even know if it does prevent it, but what they're trying to prevent is just the extra slam effect of the quarterback on the ground. So him he's not driving, but him not releasing Purdy, his head bounces off the turf because he doesn't really release. So this is what they're trying to prevent. It's football. I'm on that boat. It's a dumb rule. But this is kind of reminding me of what I complained about earlier, or what I complained about last week in the Sunday or Monday night game between the Patriots and Dolphins. Waddle got whacked upside the head by a safety who was just coming down to make a play. And the helmets did collide. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, what is the safety supposed to do? Let me see if I can pull that play up real quick. Oh, my goodness gracious, man. Let's see. All right, here it is. I don't know if they're going to show the entire play. So I don't know if you guys saw it last week. Okay. Why are just all my videos buffering? Why are all my videos buffering? So Waddle's going to go up for this ball. This is what I was complaining about. Waddle's going to go up for this high pass that's lofted over the middle of the field into traffic, mind you. And he's going to land with one leg. He's going to fall off balance. And the safety, who's coming down to lay a hit, as he's supposed to when any ball is thrown over the middle of the field like this, And because of the way Waddle falls and loses his balance, the safety all of a sudden is in line with Waddle's head, and there's helmet-to-helmet contact, and they throw a flag. This pissed me off. I mean, when I sit here and ask what is the safety supposed to do, I still genuinely don't know the answer to that question. At least the difference with what we see from Leonard here is that we know what he's supposed to do different. we know exactly what Leonard is supposed to do different. It's a stupid rule, but they've made it pretty clear what their stance is. They do not want body weight drop down quarterbacks mid-sack. Leonard needs to release his hands and let his hands hit the turf while releasing Purdy before Purdy hits the ground. Therefore, you don't get this whiplash effect on Purdy's head, and your whole body is collapsing on his torso. That's what they want. So we know what Leonard is supposed to do here, even if it is stupid. But here, I just genuinely don't know what Mapu is supposed to do. The only thing I can think of is he just doesn't do his job. Mapu's job on this play specifically was to. Are you talking about Leonard Farkas? Leonard or Mapu? Why is it buffering, man? It's like a 20 second clip. Like the only thing I think Mapu could not do in this situation is just not do his job. And his job here was to come down. The play, so the defensive play here is if Judon's dropping into coverage, if he is targeted, you need to come down and help him out. And that's exactly what he does. He does his job. And he's flagged for it. I think he could be. Technically, they can kind of fine anybody. I think. I'm not gonna say they can just fine anybody for no reason, but I think they technically could. I don't think they will. But yeah, I mean, I get at the end of the day, both the Leonard call and the Waddle call, it's they're by the book rule written in writing. Helmet to helmet contact equals penalty. Landing body weight during sack equals penalty. They're stupid. It is called that way. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. Excuse me. All right. Let's move on to what we saw from the 49ers tonight. So McCaffrey, this was a game where we all thought, at least I personally thought, McCaffrey was going to see a lighter workload. Excuse me. And I guess you could say he did because they did give Mitchell 11 carries. So you could say that he did see a quote-unquote lighter workload for what it potentially could have looked like. But McCaffrey right now is looking like a workhorse, and that's not a bad thing. But what is a bad thing is the fact that we are talking about, how old is McCaffrey? We're talking about he's only 27, actually. I thought he was 28. Nevertheless, we're talking about a running back that is not young, has had injury issues in the past, and is kind of one of, if not the most important part of your offense, getting, 42 plus 6 is 48. 48 plus 5 is 53, plus 20 is 73, minus 2 is 71. McCaffrey has had 71 touches in 3 weeks. McCaffrey has had 71 touches in 3 weeks. That can't be healthy. I don't think that's very healthy. Between these first 2 weeks and now today, 71 touches for Christian McCaffrey. And I know a lot of fantasy players are kicking themselves for not taking McCaffrey early or not taking McCaffrey earlier or not taking him at all, or maybe passing on him. But I'm personally concerned for McCaffrey's usage. Shanahan and in their pressers this week said they want to get Elijah Mitchell more involved. They don't want to ride McCaffrey as much as they have been. And tonight they pretty much just give him a similar workload and nothing changed at all. Nothing changed. So McCaffrey still saw a ton of work. And we're 71 touches 3 weeks into the season. That's going to catch up to him. That's going to catch up to him. And I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt. But, we're talking about a guy that hasn't had the best of luck when it comes to injuries. So I was shocked that they did give him as many carries and as many touches as they ended up. And that doesn't even count the, how many snaps he was on the field pass blocking and taking hits in that manner for, because he saw 100% of snaps last week, 85% of snaps week 1. We won't know the snap counts. At least I could probably try and find them, but it's not worth my time. McCaffrey, they're going to have to pump the brakes on the McCaffrey usage, or else there are going to be big issues. Football is a vicious sport. It's hard. These athletes need to stop their motors when they're going. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can't expect these guys to consciously make these decisions while they're going full speed. I think there are instances where guys do stuff that they clearly don't have the interest of anybody's safety in mind while doing. I think we saw Kareem Jackson do that to Logan Thomas last week. He just literally jumped, left his feet, and helmet to helmet Logan Thomas in the jaw, completely unwarranted. There was no reason for it. It was clear he just had an intent to injure, in my opinion. And that's where, the line has to be drawn. But plays like Leonard Williams, it's hard to think in the moment like that. Plays like Mapu that I just showed, it's hard to stop in the moment like that. And things like this, to your point, Farkas, it only takes one of those plays for a guy like McCaffrey, who's getting hit as often as he is, to be missed, to be gone, because of how vicious this sport is. I'm not going to predict an injury because, it's just kind of impossible. But, I wouldn't be shocked if you were right. At this rate, the way McCaffrey's getting hit, the amount of touches he's getting, I wouldn't be floored and taken aback so much if I did hear that McCaffrey suffered this setback or this injury and then a setback, or, he was banged up in this game, so they got to take it lighter. This is the kind of workload you give a guy when it's like the final stretch of the regular season, not the first 3 games. I don't know. I mean, who am I to question Kyle Shanahan? But this is definitely something I think will catch up to him. Do you think we trade Elam to the Cowboys? It seems we have given up on him. That's an interesting thought. I don't think we do. I think Elam will be a Bill for the season, but that's an interesting thought. Because it does seem like the future plans do not involve Kyer Elam, because he's not even dressing, let alone seeing the field. So that would be, I wouldn't be surprised if we traded him, but I don't think it'll be this season. It's only his second year. Couple other things I want to touch on real quick, and then we'll get out of here. It's getting late. Let's look at Brock Purdy's game, which I didn't think, he had his moments. It was a standard Brock Purdy game. That's what I'll say for sure. Hold on. I'm pulling up the game here. I made a breakdown this morning and posted regarding Brock Purdy's performance. What tab is playing? Okay, sorry, I don't know if you guys can even hear that. What's going on, Joey? Let's go Buffalo's right. Patriots. No, this is week 3. I should have had this pulled up. I'm slacking. Week 2. No, it's week 3. What am I doing? Is it all the way at the bottom because they just played? Yep. They probably don't have the condensed replay yet, do they? No, they don't. All right, cool. So I made a TikTok breaking down Brock Purdy's first couple weeks and just how I wasn't too impressed with what I've seen from Brock Purdy. He does one thing extremely well, in my opinion, and that is stand in under pressure and not panic. He usually makes the right decision when pressure is in his face. But when it comes to this first drive was especially putrid. Let's check it out. But when it comes to accuracy and ball placement, Brock Purdy has been extremely inconsistent. And this first drive was a good example of that. It didn't really continue. There were a couple balls throughout the game that, were spotty here and there. But for the most part, he really didn't have, he was throwing. I mean, the screen passes were the primary goal of this game. So here we have a 2nd and 5.
He's checking the backfield.
Brock Purdy's going to drop back. He's got Debo with a ton of separation, as he usually does. This ball doesn't get out in time, in my opinion. This ball does not get out in time, even close. This ball needs to be out the second he hits. The second he takes like one step. Right there. I mean, why did he even wait?
Great command of it all.
Why? Like, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about with Brock. It's just these small inconsistencies that just go so overlooked. Right there. Right there. Like, that ball needed to be out right there. Why it's not? It needs to be hitting him as he's... That ball needs to be out, and it's not. He waits. It allows Deonte Banks to break down on the ball. And it's... It seemed to be a little bit inside, but it just isn't there because he waited. He didn't get the ball out soon enough. Here we have a 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
This time he hits him. Pretty much the same exact play, actually. It's
starting for the Giants.
Probably the same exact play. Like, they probably just went right back to it because of how easily Debo won. Same thing.
3rd and 5.
It seems like he's just that time. Banks just gave him a little bit too much space.
First down.
When I still think the ball was a little bit late.
First round pick. Hawkins was a 6th round pick.
Like, to me, this ball is coming out too late. He's just lucky that Deonte Banks is playing 15 yards off. This time he doesn't throw, though, so credit to him for that. This was Purdy's worst throw of the game. Not sure what the thought process here was. He probably had him, too. See, this is what I mean. Like, he does a great job here of managing the pocket. But he just, if this ball is on a line toward Kittle and toward the sideline, this is probably a completion. Does a good job. He comes out of the bootleg. The pressure is coming off the edges, so he steps up. Very, very nice. But then he just, like, lofts a duck. He just lofts a duck. Oh, the safety comes from below, not above. Okay. I mean, yeah, this ball needed to probably be further overhead. But just, what are you doing here? What's the...
back in zone.
Oh, here we go.
And he just doesn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, this ball needed to be...
Very just kind of feeling his way.
I like that we got this view. So let's see if he has the...
They're just, if you look back at the Giants,
there's Kittle right now. He does a good job of stepping up into the pocket. This safety, this probably just isn't a ball you can really throw. Or okay, I mean, to be fair, what needs to probably happen here is what the fuck are we doing here, Brock? Hold on. What needed to happen here is he needed to lead the ball low for Kittle and not so far out in front of him. This ball needed to be like right here instead of sailing it way the fuck into Timbuktu. Like, there's enough space here for him to get Kittle to sit, and that's what Kittle was waiting for. Kittle was trying to sit the gap and
sitting there. Very fortunate, just kind of feeling his way.
What are we doing? I mean, this is the kind of shit that doesn't bite Purdy in the ass because he plays for such a good team. Like, watch Kittle slow down here. He literally slows down. And then as he releases the ball, he's like, oh, shit,
that corner
I need to go get it because this ball is terrible. I mean, like I said, Purdy deserves a lot of credit for the job he does, but he also, Things like that.
Stays on his feet.
The guard Burgess
just can't
fast. I mean, he
excuse
lowers his shoulder.
things like that.
At a time when running backs are not happy. Great
See if there's another ball on this drive. I can't remember.
Purdy make a tackle.
Knock does a nice job of see the pressure being
No takeaway.
Play
see the Knock does a nice
What happened
job
here?
of taking away this throw downfield. He wants to get the ball thrown right here to Ronnie Bell, and
Ronnie
he's
Bell.
sensing coverage. And by the
This
time
I'm
he
fine
starts
with.
to come
Like
off of that,
I said, Purdy does a good job of
pressure
standing
being
in the
pushed up
pocket,
there
sitting
by
in the
DJ
pocket when there's
Davidson,
pressure.
and
He
then
he
finally
doesn't
to
bail
complete
out too soon.
into that
That's
sack.
something I
That's
do
the
think Purdy
Giants.
does an
Juwan
excellent
Jennings,
job
who
with.
takes it.
But
Giants
here's the ball I wanted to talk about. I'm sure it's killing the Giants how much they are paying Daniel Jones to. I thought Daniel Jones did what he could tonight. I didn't think he sucked. I shared it on my 12, and Evan, if you would like to come share it on both pages. All right, I'll go check it out. Yeah, for sure. I'll go check that out after the stream, Joe.
First sack of the season.
This was the
Had
ball
no
that I
sacks.
also was just flat out disgusted with.
No takeaways coming
I mean, look at you do not get a cleaner pocket than this.
in.
Juwan Jennings, your fourth string pass catcher, gets a yard of separation, and you give this defensive back a chance to make a play on this ball.
Passes caught.
And Juwan Jennings, the
Fly
fact
here
that their
by
fourth
Juwan
string pass
Jennings,
catchers
who
making
takes it.
catches like
Giants'
this is actually
first
kind of
sack
fucking
of the
annoying.
season.
But
They had no sacks, no.
what are we
takeaways
doing here? Like we're talking about our fourth string pass. Juwan Jennings is the most underrated receiver, the most underappreciated pass catcher, most underappreciated receiver in the league. I will die on that hill. He wins on the line of scrimmage, gets a yard of separation, and he has to make it just an insane 180 adjustment, plucking it from behind him to pick up that first down. This ball needs to be in front of him. I mean, look at all this grass. And the ball is terrible.
Passes
The
caught
ball
on
is just terrible.
third down.
in the middle of the shows you what he can see in the middle of the field.
Third down.
Look at this adjustment. Credit to
49ers on the
Juwan
move.
Jennings,
Love the
man.
scenes. Third down, he does a good
I would
job
love for my
working
Bills
into
to have
the
a
middle.
Juwan
You can see
Jennings,
that
man.
seam
Look at that.
opens
That
up
catch.
nicely.
It's a
There's
tough
safety
catch.
in the middle of the field. He's able to
Full
work
speed
off
on the
his
run like
hands.
that.
Side.
Script. Lot of-
They kicked the
play.
field goal on this
Third
drive,
down.
did they not?
You know, the
Yards were
Let's see.
and I think put the field.
Oh, you almost did a
inside
pick
the
on this.
5-yard down. Now
Almost
3
did a
out of
pick here,
3.
too.
This is a big Dexter on third down.
All right, here we go, the third and 10. I don't exactly remember what happens here. This whole drive for Purdy was an absolute
14th
mess. He looked
play
a
of
little
the
bit
drive.
rattled. The pressure comes in. He recognizes that. Does a good job of getting the ball away
Purdy hit
to,
as he
what I thought was a respectable option
throws.
in Deebo Samuel,
Broken
right?
up in
The ball is
end
just
zone.
terrible.
Third down.
Another instance. I'm not going to knock him too much
Once
for
to
this
the left.
one. Although I guess I'm just confused. I don't know if it was the broadcast that said it or if I read it on Twitter or what. This is clearly just I'm going to send my whole neighborhood at you and then sit in zone across the back
Play of the
or
drive.
man, whatever the fuck. No, they're in a zone and just sit over there, sit over the top near the end
Pressure.
zone, and there's nothing underneath because the first down marker is right before the goal line, so they'll give it up underneath.
Hit as he throws.
So honestly,
Broken up.
I'm not going to be mad at Brock for this. It's just a bad ball, and
Oh.
it's tough to get that type of pass
Bunch to the left.
away.
14th play
Probably
of the
would have
drive.
been better if he just
Pressure.
dirted it or
Purdy
something,
hit
but
As he throws.
I'm not going to be that upset.
Stanford.
And I'll tell him on this
Not a
drive,
good
I'll tell
drive
you
from
what,
Purdy though.
for a defense,
That's for sure.
it's been ridiculed by some of their
Oh
their own
man, he kind of had him for a second.
fan-
That's a tough ball.
Told him
That's a tough ball. Whopper.
your man out of
But I do want to show some good because Purdy did have some good. So he deserves credit for that. There was a ball. Was it the first drive he threw that ball to Kittle right over the top? I think I skipped over it, honestly. That was a great ball.
be able to win.
The ball
that
to
28-yard line.
the back shoulder ball to
McCaffrey.
this almost. If the 49ers ran one more RPO early in this game and threw it to Deebo on it, I think he would have died. Like, they were sitting and waiting on this. The safeties were waiting to crash down and kill because they had done it 3 or 4 times.
Pass over the middle out there.
Samuel
I
is.
mean,
McKinney came.
that was getting excessive.
50 by McKinney again.
What happened here?
Fired. And
That wasn't on Brock. That was a good ball.
Right
That's a
there
ball
was
that
Out, and
Kittle
the
usually
injured
comes
left
down with.
hand has come back this year. Gets his eyes up.
That's a good ball.
Yeah,
That's
nice
good
job
ball
on the right side of
placement.
the line.
Like I said, his ball
Goes out
placement
into
isn't
the-
bad. It's
Push it
inconsistent.
right there.
365. Aaron Banks takes
Close to it.
Screen pass, run play,
Tackle to the 28.
run play,
It's depending upon how
run
Captain
play,
for
run
the
play, run
moment.
play,
Mitchell
run
was
play.
in, but no room at all. Good.
Oh, this was hear what I'm talking about. We see that nice pass from Purdy to Kittle, and then we have this screen.
The fake to the
Fuck is that
outside goes the
throw?
pass that's caught there.
Like, is there something I'm
was
not
in.
understanding?
Purdy goes back into the gun. Play
Is there
clock
something
is
I'm
down
not
to 3.
understanding?
The fake
What the like, Debo
the
shouldn't have to
outside
run
goes
3 yards
pass that's
backwards to
caught
catch a
there,
screen
but
pass
no room at
when
all.
he's
Good
already
coverage
bubbling
there
back.
on Samuel
out there.
11 in motion.
is Mitchell back.
That was another screen.
Falls on
Quick little
toss on the
Run
trailing.
play.
offense to that
His
deep
touchdown pass on this drive was nice,
make
though.
a play.
McCaffrey.
I'm going to get down.
Third flag is
Here we go,
down.
3rd and 5. This is what Purdy is good at. Once again, the pressure comes. They send 5. Extra guy comes through. He stands in, fades away, but puts this ball in a pretty damn good spot. This was one of Purdy's best balls of the night. That Kittle ball in the first drive that I skipped over was a great throw. This one, he just does such a good job of not letting the pressure scare him into not making the throw he wants to make. It might not always be a great throw, but the read is typically correct.
Purdy
Stands in, just delivers. Not your average way of throwing, the way he fades away, but
Purdy.
good ball. Good ball. He knew where he wanted to go with it. Put it where it needed to go, despite the pressure.
On Rook and with 7.
Good ball. The last throw I want to look at from Purdy that I could at least think of was the must have just happened. Come on. FanDuel.
Another big night for the.
All right, here it is.
To that. Just happened to watch.
Here it is. Oh, still not there yet.
More than
right.
an 11-point game.
And he's the best at these balls. This is his specialty. Brock Purdy's specialty is the back shoulder throw. Once again, the pressure is humming. The 49ers are more prepared for it, so it allows this route to develop for Debo. And this was a planned shot, I think. A planned shot, given the look. And Purdy stands in, doesn't let the pressure affect him, and just delivers just a gorgeous back shoulder dime. Gorgeous. Only where Debo can go. And Debo makes a play on it.
Just happened to watch Thibodeau off to the right. Pocket.
Yeah, I mean, this pocket is clean enough. It's not like the most clean I've ever seen, of course. The pressure is coming, and he knows it's going to hit in just a second, but he doesn't waver. He just stands and throws as if it's not even there. And it is
probably thought he had maybe a chance at it, but put it where Samuel could
so I mean, in my breakdown this morning,
a little stutter and go.
I pretty much saw the same game that I was talking about from the first 2 weeks. Just inconsistent ball placement at times that he is able to get away with. But when it comes to standing in under pressure, he does a good job. So shout out Brock Purdy. Still not a top quarterback in my
Less than
opinion.
6
But
to
you know,
play in the fourth.
the last
Another
time I
big
said
night
that
for
this
the
morning, I got
49ers,
yelled at, so I'm just gonna hold
30
my
to
tongue.
12.
Okay. I think that's pretty much all I had. If anyone else, I'm tired. If anyone else has any other thoughts, opinions you want to drop down in the comments, feel free to do so. But this game went about as expected. I think I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more of a slaughter, but nevertheless, 49ers get the job done on Thursday Night Football. Daniel Jones is pretty much left out to dry, and the defense cannot hold San Francisco down long enough. But that'll be it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments if you do have any extras, if you're catching the stream after the fact. No problem, Farkas. I appreciate you sticking around, man. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you sticking through it. I know it's pretty damn late. You're a real trooper for coming through. Same thing with you, Joey. You guys are both real troopers for sticking with me through it. I through a screen can only tell you how much I appreciate it here, but I really do appreciate it. More streams that, hopefully with better games that are not on the week. They're all on weeknights, but hopefully if the game is more exciting, I'll have more energy. But this one was pretty much put me to sleep halfway through it. I was trying to collect my thoughts and make the most of it. Shout out to my neighbor. I live right next to Frank. It's funny. So shout out to the Athletics. Bills Mafia, you guys have a fantastic night. And I'll see you guys later. Go Bills.